It was one of the most epic games in college football playoff history, Georgia history, Ohio State history. The Dogs with a 1 point win to survive over Ohio State. I'm going to show you the 12 images that we picked out that we think tell the tale of this story and the game. Make sure you're signing up for our newsletter. Obviously, we're just a couple of hours after the game, and I'm trying to get through this thing I've got. But the first image that we're going to go with, this is Arian Smith. He is a wide receiver at Georgia. And Arian caught this ball wide open. The shot's from Dylan Weber, who shot this with a Nikon Z9 and a 400 millimeter 2.8 aperture lens. You can see the background there of Georgia and what was going on the sideline. They were just for me where I was sitting, you'll see what my shot a little bit later, but Arian I thought was going to drop the ball because he was too open. But this play put Georgia within four 5 points, I guess it was. And soon thereafter, they would score a 2 point conversion with Lam McConkey. But it's one of the most memorable moments in this game. Again, I could not believe that he was that wide open. It was just after Kirby Smart called timeout. Um, the next the next image is from Ryan Curley, who shot this, of course, up top with a Z9 and a 600 millimeter f4 lens. This is Georgia's quarterback, Stetson Bennett. This image should have never happened. Stetson should have handed the ball off to Kenny McIntosh for a touchdown. Instead, he kept it, rolled around the right hand side. Georgia settled for a field goal attempt, which Jack Penesley missed. Jack did not have a great day, which is rare. But in this play, Stetson is trying to sprint out wide. You can see Ohio State saying, "No, you're going to have to hand it off today." And I think it's obviously you've seen a lot of limbs here, which is what you want to see the ball, and it's very rare to see someone with that white background like that on a football field. Shows obviously he's right next to the end zone, or excuse me, the sideline. Here's my shot of Arian Smith. This was shot with a D4 with a 70 to 200 2.8 lens. This is all brand new lenses because folks like y'all are supporting us by watching us or subscribing on the website. I again thought he was going to drop the ball, but this is him well into the end zone. For the record, he is probably 3 yards into the end zone, still got the ball in his hands. There's no confusion about dropping the ball or anything like that. So Arian with just an explosive, he's one of the fastest players that Georgia's ever had. And the Ohio State corner slipped, but he didn't just slip. I mean, you're worried about stuff when you're out there. And the guy, I mean, it was not the greatest, I guess, surface on earth. We saw Kenny McIntosh slip as well, fall, whatever it was. But this is Arian Smith taking off, and I mean, I was right where I needed to be for that shot. That's my secondary camera. Here's another shot, same exact setup. This one is your buddy A.D. Mitchell. And as you can see, this was the go ahead, or actually, this actual play tied the game. And then Jack came in and knocked it in. A.D. Mitchell's got a lot of energy, and I did not think this was some sort of great play. Okay, well, I don't think anybody thought it was a great play, but it was a play that happened, and it put Georgia up with about 50 something seconds to go. Now I'm going to tell this story a little bit. This slide is going to take a little bit longer than the others. So behind me was Greg Bluestein, who is a reporter for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. He went to Georgia. And to my left was Jason Getz, who is also a photographer for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. And of course, we're talking a little bit during all of this. And I said to Greg, when Georgia got down to about the 15 or 18 or whatever it was, I was like, they're going too fast, they're going too fast. Kirby felt the same way. Kirby was flipping out on the sideline. Not flipping out. He was motioning his hands to the ground, slow down. But Either Stetson saw it and felt, I don't want to break this rhythm, because they snapped this ball with like 20 seconds on the play clock. They could have run this play with 30 seconds to go in the game. And, if you're a photographer sitting there trying to get ready for plays, that can be a real challenge trying to figure out when they're going to snap stuff. Where should you be? You should already be where you're supposed to be, first of all. But it's tricky. You better watch it and get in position. This is Jalen Carter, who is Georgia's probably best overall player. He did not have an unreal night on the stat sheet, but this is Jalen Carter with Georgia's offensive coordinator, who is Todd Monken to the left there. And the story behind this one is, obviously these are two overwhelmingly consequential people in Georgia's program. But Todd Monken on the left there, this guy's a total straight shooter. But he was shocked after the game. Now I'm speaking for him, okay? He was shocked after the game. He did not know what had happened. I mean, like, that's what it felt like. He was walking around. He was not talking to people. He was just like pacing. And he saw Jalen. Jalen was one of the first guys that he saw. And he just said, no matter what happens the rest of your life, no matter how much money you make, you'll never forget this moment. And he won't. I mean, Jalen will not forget that moment. And Todd saying that means Todd won't forget it either. This is an image of Stetson Bennett, Georgia's quarterback. It was tough out there, man, in the first half. I mean, sometimes Stetson makes it tough on himself, it seems. But he correctly took a sack here. And you see the grimace on his face. You can see the black pantyhose. They've got extra padding in there for Stetson. But he's got both hands on the ball. It's a little high, but he's got both hands on the ball. If his both hands aren't on the ball there, that's a fumble. So I think in this case, it's a great image showing the grit and determination you have to have. And these are big people. They're bigger than I am, and I'm a big person flying after him. So I just, that's what you want to play college football. Get ready for those guys coming right at you because they're coming. You better have both hands on the ball the entire time. It was tough out there for Stetson. I know people are not going to understand this image, so I'm going to explain who this person is. This is John Meshad. This is a man who's been at Georgia since 2002. So this is year 20 for John. Excuse me. He was the assistant equipment manager. He's become the equipment manager. I mean, he went to Georgia in '95. He's my age, so that means he knows Bobo and all of them. Yeah, he knows Bobo because Bobo married into his family. All the coaches had run by, just they were doing the same thing. The assistant coaches, and I think what folks might not understand for the players and the coaches, obviously it's emotional. But you got somebody like Meshad here, I mean, everybody calls him Meshad, okay? And I do not know him personally. I've been around enough to know that this is a Georgia guy. This is a guy who bleeds it, okay? And I don't know if he's crying. I wouldn't blame him. But they'd come down the elevator. They came sprinting out that hallway. There was no telling who was going to be in that hall. That was not their hallway to run through. And I just sometimes these images are important because it shows people y'all don't know who they are. It shows how much it means to them. It shows that, I mean, he beyond gives a shit. It's Georgia for him is in his blood. He went there. His sister is married into this thing. I believe he's a dually somehow too. This is a shot from Ryan Curley, Z9, 600 millimeter up top. Well, not up top. It's Bullard and Bear Alexander. I mean, it's sort of a standard shot, but I mean, it captures that it was not easy for Stroud either. And you want to play quarterback? You got 22 firing at you like a freaking gun, and you got Bear Alexander crawling all over your back. They had thrown him for a loss. This was when they had to get a sack, and they did. Georgia didn't do anything with it on the next possession, but these guys, man, they are fired up and ready to go. But Bullard particularly is so fast. Bullard's going to be a player, man, if he's not already. And this guy, he does stuff constantly. Bear Alexander does a lot too. Uh, man. All right, here's your boy Christopher Smith. The kid from Ohio State had a lot to say after this play. All I got to say to the kid is, and I don't mean this disrespectfully towards Ohio State or the kid, but man, you got your shit rocked. I mean, nobody's helmet's coming flying off for Georgia until they're celebrating the win, and this image, again, I think I've discussed my admiration for Christopher Smith a lot, and what he has done over time at Georgia. Again, a guy that bleeds it. And he absolutely blistered this kid from Ohio State. He looked like a freaking missile running at him. Again, Ryan Curley on the image. And, at Dog Post, we try to get up and get around and, get different stuff. And because these images matter to me, and those matter to Stackhouse and Christopher and Lassiter as time goes on. But knocked his helmet off, and it was a clean hit. Kirby, I mean, I just don't know after a while what to say. I mean, he was not pleased after this game. Um, but I think I talk about it a lot. I mean, there's times Kirby annoys me. There's times I definitely always feel for his mental, what he goes through. Yeah, he makes a lot of money, and I always say that's what the money's for. But man, it's tough, man. I mean, he has a tough gig. He has a tough lifestyle. You can hear my voice in this. I'm not quite 24 hours, 48 hours after the thing. I think he knows they dodged a bullet on this one. And I think he knows how good Ohio State was. And he might know that they, may have played the championship game. But he can't think like that because they got to go play the championship game now against TCU. But this was a bunch of photographers after the game. I shot this with a 14-24 with a Z9. So sometimes the best images are ones that you do not, what we call, tag. Right here, Ryan Curley didn't tag this shot. And why? Why did he not tag this shot? Well, there was so much going on. This is the failed kick from Ohio State. And, Ryan, I told him before this, I said, press and hold. And I feel for Rossi right there, 34. And you look at the holder, man. The kicker had to pick the holder up after this game. And I'm going to talk about this image just for a second, and we're going to get to the next one. Jalen Carter came over to 34 after this, and he helped him up. Like, he picked him up. And I don't have that on these, but, like, these guys understand what it's like to lose, man. It's tough. I mean, look at those kids from Ohio State, man. Their hearts are broken. That is a crushing image for Ohio State. That is a crushing image for Ohio State. That is what sports is about. The agony and pain of that stuff, man. That hurts. And here they are, look at Keeley is like 6 feet off the ground. I'm not even joking. Lassiter's about to throw his helmet to Mars. Christopher Smith is just sprinting off. I mean, it just, and then, and this is the image later where the kicker has picked the holder up off the ground. And you feel for those kids, man. I mean, because damn, they go through a lot. It's asking a lot for these kids, man. And the crushing, the way that Georgia stole this thing that's one thing. But for Ohio State to lose it, man, I don't know that they deserved to lose, but they did. And Shit, man, Georgia didn't deserve to lose in the national championship game in 17. And there are these pivotal moments. Some of these images will be, I'm not saying our images. This is Ryan again, and he did a good job, y'all. I mean, everybody did for our crew what they were supposed to do, and you see it in the imagery. But I do these pictures make me really feel for the Ohio State kids. I shot a lot for my college after the fact, and and I say we because where I went to school, I played there. When we lost in the World Series a couple years ago, man, I had to take pictures of those kids, and it really hurt me to take them. I feel bad for the Ohio State kids, but this image shows how much it meant for Georgia. And Keeley, I mean, Keeley had to fight that whole game, lasted or two. It was tough out there. Thanks for watching.